The cash envelope system is possibly the simplest and most effective form of budgeting there is, because it forces you to be intentional with each purchase. The only problem is you have to carry around hundreds of dollars of cash.
Hey you, give me all your cash. Ah man, and today was going so well.
What if there was a way to use the cash envelope system digitally?
Hey you, give me all your cash. Well, I don't carry cash, but you can have my Qube debit card. That'll do. Thanks. Yeah, no worries. Guess it's time to freeze my debit card. Come on, man.
Well, Qube Money actually provides the power of the cash envelope system while providing the convenience of a modern day bank account. Pretty insane. Welcome to the first debit card review of my June series. Let me show you how it works. So the way that Qube works is by creating digital envelopes called Qubes for your spending and bills. It is its own checking account and budgeting app all in one. It's just with Qube, it'll keep you to your budget because you can't overspend what you have in your account. Let me break it down. So on the first page, you can see 4 types of Qubes: cloud, bills, spending, and Qubeless. When you have money come into your account, whether it's through bank transfer or direct deposit, that money goes straight to the Qube cloud. This is where income goes that hasn't been accounted for as of yet. As you can see, I have $125 in my Qube cloud because I haven't accounted for any of the income yet. The next category is bills. This is the kind of Qube that you go to in order to set up your monthly bills, but not your regular spending. We're talking utilities, Amazon Prime, those kinds of envelopes. Next, we have the spending Qubes. These would count as spending that isn't bill related. It's where you'd put your restaurants, gas, groceries, home improvement. And last but not least, we have Qubeless, which is for all the miscellaneous purchases. Purchases that don't have a home in any of our piles yet, but will very soon. Now, Qubeless is always gonna be either 0 or a negative number. And if you haven't figured it out already, the account balance is the cloud plus Qubeless. But we'll come back to that. I've got $125 in the cloud to split up, so let me show you how to do it. Now, if we open up the cloud, it's gonna show us recent transfers that are within the account, but between different Qubes that kind of help you keep track of your money. Now, if we press this button next to the 125, we can do an internal transfer between Qubes. And from here, we can select a Qube where we want to transfer money from the cloud into. I already have some general Qubes set up, so we'll use these. Let's choose gasoline, and we'll put $25 into that. We'll do another internal transfer, and we'll put $25 into groceries. Let's put $20 into home improvement, $15 into Prime, $15 into restaurants, and the last $25 we'll put into utilities. Now, when we go back to the main screen, it'll show that we have $0 in cloud, and the 125 has been split up between bills and spending. Now, within bills, it'll show you how much each bill cost and the amount that's been funded so far. As you can see, I set the utilities bill to cost $80, which means we still have $55 that we have to save in the Qube in order for it to be fully funded. Whereas Prime is fully funded already. Similarly, with spending, you can go into each Qube and look at the balance in that Qube, as well as how much you budgeted. As you can see, the grocery budget, we still have quite a bit left to save before that Qube is fully funded. Whereas if we go into restaurants, our monthly budget is $15 and our balance is $15. Of course, within bills and spending, you can always add new Qubes. Remember, each of these is like an envelope where you pull money out to pay for things. Now, this is where the fun begins. In order to purchase things, you have a couple options. Your first option is you can open the Qube that you want to use, and then when you swipe your Qube card, then it'll put that transaction into that Qube. Hey, get off my camera, Mr. Ant. There we go. That makes it easy because then you don't have to go into the app later and associate that transaction with a Qube. If you open a Qube, it'll automatically stay open for 30 minutes, but you can always change it so it stays open for a different amount of time, all the way up to a year. That makes it easier because then you don't have to remember to open the app and open a Qube when you want to make a purchase, or if you don't have reception, it'll still have one open, you can make a purchase. The problem is it'll put all your transactions in the same Qube. And to resolve that, that's where Qubeless comes in. So let's close this and go to our main menu. Qubeless is like a miscellaneous Qube where all transactions go that haven't been designated yet. Qubeless here has a negative number because when I was testing Qube, I use it for a couple different transactions without opening up any other Qubes. When we open Qubeless, we can see the purchases. Both of them happen to be restaurants. I love frozen custard. So what we're gonna do is go into each transaction and Qube it, which in this case pulls the transaction and puts it in restaurants. Let me do it with this one too. There we go. Now, one thing to keep in mind about Qubeless is that you have to set up limits ahead of time. If we go into settings, you can see the limits for both ACH transactions and debit card transactions. You have to set a limit, otherwise Qubeless won't work and you'll have to open up one of the other cubes in order to make any purchases. For example, I can set up the debit card limit to $500. So if I spend $100 on chocolate milk, it's going to show that I have $400 left for any other Qubeless transactions. That is until you cube those transactions, and then Qubeless will reset to the limit that you set, in this case $500. The intention is to keep you focused on your budget and tracking expenses regularly. Because if you don't, it'll actually decline a transaction if you've reached your limit. Now, why would you use Qubeless? Well, it's super convenient. You don't have to open the app and open a cube every time you want to make a purchase. But you still have to track the transactions later by cubing them. Which is why sometimes it's easier to just open a cube right before you make a transaction, and then you don't have to track that expense later. Kind of like I just did with home improvement. Now, here's something that I really like about the bill cubes. Once you actually have it set up, it makes it much easier for your monthly expenses. Because some bills are going to be the exact same every month, like Prime, and having a cube set up for each bill means that you don't have to track those expenses anymore. It just happens automatically. And to make it even easier, each bill cube has its own account number and virtual debit card number. Then you can set up auto pay with your electricity provider or your phone bill, and then each charge is associated with the correct bill cube. To go even further, you can set up each bill with certain parameters. Some bills are the exact same every single month, like Netflix or Prime. And you can set those so that if it charges you more than a certain amount, it'll actually decline the charge. That way you won't get blindsided by any increase in bills or anything like that. Other bills may vary, like insurance. Let's set one up right here. We'll choose the icon, select the color, and then let's say your next bill is in November, let's say the 23rd. Well, in this case, the bill amount is gonna be $600, but the monthly budget is gonna be $100 because you're saving $100 a month every 6 months. It's kind of like a sinking fund for bills that don't happen every month. When we finish that, it's going to give us the option to fund the cube now, but the problem is we don't have any money in it, so we're going to just say done. With spending, there's one feature that's really good to know about, and it's called ReQube. Essentially, it makes it easy to move transactions around if you make a mistake or if you decide that you'd rather a transaction come out of a different cube. All you have to do is choose a transaction, go into the cube, and then you can choose to ReQube McDonald's to gasoline. Weird example, but you can see how that changes the restaurant so that it has $5.50 left and it's taken some money out of gasoline. It makes it very easy for moving around transactions. Really, the creation of cubes and the use of the debit card is pretty easy. Especially if you have Qubeless set up, purchases can be designated to different cubes easily after the fact. Having said that, here's some good things to know about Qube. Qube does have a free version, and that's what I signed up for. It's great for people who want to give Qube a try and see how it works. It'll give you everything I talked about in this video, plus of course free direct deposit. It will, however, limit you to 10 cubes, whether they're bill cubes or spending cubes. Of course, they will send you a debit card that you can use for all your purchases. And even though it doesn't have rewards or cash back, it'll probably save you more than the cash back you would earn anywhere else, because it'll limit your spending and change your finances for good. From the free basic version, you can upgrade your subscription to premium or family. Premium gets you everything the basic will get you, plus unlimited cubes, which is a big deal because I figured out that Bailey and I probably would use 40 cubes if we were to set it up today. It'll get you recurring transfers, monthly reports to help you keep on track, faster deposits, which is always nice, and my personal favorite, a joint account, which allows you to get your spouse access as well, which security-wise I think is a great feature. Premium will cost you $8 a month. Upgrading to the family account will get you everything in premium, plus up to 10 authorized users, accounts for kids and teens, and they're coming out with some features soon to help with parenting. Authorized adult accounts, so say you have a nanny that takes your kids to do things that cost money. Parental permissions, in-app money requests, and debit cards designed for kids. Now, I don't have kids, but I think that this sounds like a great way to teach kids about money. The family plan will cost you $15 a month. If you want to sign up for any of those, you can use my affiliate link in the description down below. And even though it won't cost you any extra to use my link, it will support my channel, and that's always appreciated. Now, I know upgrading may cost you money, but I want you to think more about what it could save you instead of what it may cost you. Because if you really have a problem with handling your money and overspending, this could easily save you thousands of dollars a year because you're minimizing your spending and decreasing the debt and keeping track of your money. But you should look at your own situation and see if it makes sense for you. So So Qube is much more restrictive than other budgeting apps because it is your bank account instead of just being linked to your bank account. It'll force you to be better with your money because you'll have to budget in order to make it work. Having said that, Qube isn't for everyone because a lot of people are gonna prefer the flexibility of a normal bank account. But if you have difficulty with handling your money, then Qube is definitely designed for you. Qube absolutely helps you be more intentional with every dollar that you spend. It may sound weird, but it actually takes some of the discipline out of handling your finances because it makes you put all transactions into some category. You can't just spend money without it being accounted for somewhere. And it keeps you to a budget because, again, your Qube budget is your bank account. I love Qube because it takes the structure of the cash envelope system and turns it digital, curbing your spending to what you actually have. And that will help you avoid debt and live on less than you make. It may not be as fun as debt is, but it's certainly less stressful. Now again, if you're interested in Qube, then check out my link in the description down below. Now if you're having difficulty with money, I'm a financial coach and I'd love to help. You can set up a call with me in the description down below and we'll talk through your situation. Otherwise, if you're interested in some other great budgeting apps, then check out this video right here. And if you're interested in seeing some rewards debit cards, then you can check out this debit card showdown video right here.